How you doing today? Sterling Smith from Loot and Booty Barbecue, and I'm back with Green Mountain Grills. And today we're going to do a beautiful rack of lamb. It's already been Frenched. The bone's already Frenched out. It looks beautiful. It's great. It's thick at the end. We have some awesome marbling on the side of this. So what I'm going to do is do a honey rosemary crusted mustard glaze on this thing. We're going to mix up a marinade and we're going to put it on the outside. We're going to cook it on the Green Mountain Grills hot and fast around 500 degrees. And I'm looking for an internal temperature of around 125 degrees. I like my rack of lamb medium rare to medium. Have some of that pinkness in there, moist and juicy, and this outside crust is going to give some great flavor to it. So we're going to put that together right now. I really like to use rosemary, some fresh rosemary. It smells amazing. I love to just peel it off the back like this. It makes it easy when you're chopping it up. And so just take it right off the stem. A couple sprigs, it's plenty. You don't want it too rosemary, but I think rosemary and this rack of lamb are going to be amazing flavors together. And it's going to mix well with this honey and this mustard. And we're going to use this roasted chipotle and roasted garlic and chipotle seasoning from Green Mountain Grills to bring that flavor all together. So I'm just going to give a rough dice on this stuff, on this rosemary. I'm just looking for a rough chop. Nothing too small, nothing too big, but I want some of those nice chunks to be embedded right into the flesh of that rack of lamb. That looks perfect. To that, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. I'm going to add, I like this chunky garlic paste. It's really easy, it's got some great flavor. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of garlic to that. I add honey, some great flavor honey that's going to add some sweetness to this marinade, and I'm going to add the same 2 tablespoons. And then I'm going to add some olive oil, and that olive oil is going to create a nice crust on this rack of lamb. We're going to whisk it all together. We're going to get that lamb rubbed down, and we're going to go from there. Now this marinade, it's really easy. This the mustard and the honey comes through with the garlic and the rosemary. It's going to add a beautiful flavor and a awesome crust and texture to that rack of lamb. So you want something that's kind of a paste, and this paste we're going to rub across the top of this rack of lamb. So I'm going to get this over. Now when I get a rack of lamb out of the package, I'm looking for a couple things, making sure all the everything's been Frenched properly. If there's any other meat on the bones, I'll just take those off real quick. Nothing too, it doesn't need too much trimming, but there's some fat on this top. So what I'm going to do is just take that fat off a little bit, not all of it. I want to keep some of it on there, but some of that's not going to render out right, the way we're cooking it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of fat off the top just like that. It doesn't need too much trimming because these are trimmed really great. And you can see the marbling in here on the side. It looks beautiful. I love cooking rack of lamb. It's a great meat. It accepts a lot of flavors, and then cooking on the Green Mountain Grill, it's getting that light smoke to it. It's a beautiful combination. So I'm going to take this slather. I'm just going to take a little bit on my whisk, put it on just like that, and I'm just going to rub that directly into the meat. We're going to let that sit a little bit, and then we're going to take it directly onto the Green Mountain Grill. We're going to cook at 400 degrees. Like I said, I want this a nice medium rare. I'm looking for around 125, 130 degrees. Some people may like it cooked more, but I think 125 on a rack of lamb is perfect for what I like. So I'm just going to get a nice crust like this. After you put that honey mustard glaze on it, I'm going to come back with the roasted garlic chipotle. This is going to add a nice flavor to this rack of lamb. I'm going to put this all over, and we're going to let this sit a little bit. And that mustard and the honey and the seasoning, it's going to sit in, open up those pores on the meat, accept all the flavors, and it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful cut. So we're just going to come across just like that, let it sit, and we're ready to go. We have this rack of lamb all crusted up nice. It's been sitting, it's been accepting some of that flavors. We're gonna put this on the gym buoy at 500 degrees with some fruit wood. We have cherry, pecan, and beech wood. It's gonna add some amazing flavor and some crust to this. I like to cook it high so we do get that outside crust on it. So let's take it over and put it on. You're gonna see this setup on this gym buoy. I'm gonna have grill grates on here. I really like the grill grates. I really get some nice flavor, some nice coat on there. We can get some really nice grill marks on this as well. So I'm gonna take this initially and put it fat side down, just like that. And I'm doing that to get some nice sear on it. We're gonna come back in about 5-6 minutes and we're gonna cross hatch that and flip it over after about another 10 minutes. But I'm looking for about 125, 130 degrees internal, then we're gonna rest it. What we're gonna do now is put a little cross hatch. Oh, these are looking great. So we're gonna take that and just go the cross hatch. We're gonna cook that for another 2 to 3 minutes. We're gonna come back and flip it over and we're gonna test it then and see if we're right around 125, 130 degrees. So it's been about 3 more minutes once we angled that rack of lamb. So we're gonna check the cross hatches on this, make sure we got great color and look on here. If you wanna come under here and look. Oh man, that looks beautiful. Look at that cross hatch on there. So what we're gonna do is flip this over, bone side down. We're gonna give this another 3 minutes, come back and do another cross hatch, test our temperature. We wanna be around 125, 130 degrees. We're gonna let that go, but look at that beautiful caramelization that it has on it. We're gonna check the rack of lamb right now. Oh man, look how beautiful that is. The fat's starting to melt. What I'm gonna do is give this another 45 on the back side, just to get some nice grill grates, coloring and flavor on that side. We're gonna let that go for another 1.5 to 2 minutes, check the internal temperature. If it's ready, around 125, 130, we're gonna pull it off. So this rack of lamb, we did a crosshatch on it. It's been on for another 2 to 3 minutes. It's looking gorgeous, beautiful crosshatch marks. That fat is starting to render down. It's gonna create flavor over that whole rack of lamb. And I'm looking for about 125, 130 degrees, somewhere in that range. Right now we're sitting at 126, 127. Perfect. I'm gonna pull it off in a pan. We're gonna put some foil on it. We're gonna let it rest. We're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes to let all the juices naturally get back and keep into the meat. But look at that. That is a gorgeous piece of meat right there. What I like to do is just put foil on it. We're gonna let that rest. And man, I can smell that lamb. I can smell the mustard and the honey coming through. It's gorgeous. I can't wait to cut into this thing in about 10 minutes. So we got this lamb off. We cooked it to 125, 130 degrees internal. If you like yours more, you can take it to 145, but I like it right at 125, 130. We rested it for about 7-10 minutes. It allows all those juices to stay in. We got some amazing caramelization on the outside, and that was done by cooking it at a hot temperature, and also with that marinade that we put on with that honey and that mustard and the rosemary. I just can't wait to cut into this thing and see where we're at. Man, it smells unbelievable. And when I cut, I want to cut directly into the bones, so or between the bones, sorry. So I'm creating some nice lollipops, and look at that color on that. That is unbelievable. It's cutting perfectly, and these lollipops are just amazing. Right around 125, 130, I still have some of that redness inside, and that's what I like. I think lamb should be cooked that way. I think it tastes better that way for my preference. And all this fat on the outside is caramelized, and that's a beautiful, amazing bite that we're gonna get from these. These are gorgeous. Man, I can't wait to dive into one of these things. When I present them too, I'm gonna present them just like this. They look amazing on a plate. Fan them out a little bit with those bones coming out one way. Oh, that meat is glistening. That is beautiful. Caramelization, the smoke, the rub, it all works in symphony. And that Green Mountain Grills, you know it does it every time. Oh, amazing. Green Mountain Grills, baby. Damn, that's good.